nobody's safe. Soon as we step out the cage, we raising all of the stakes. Make no mistake, either you stay in your place or we putting you on a...
That's how you start off Shogun Chapter 10 finale, bitch.
Put your mouth around the top of it. Put your mouth on it. That's what I'm talking about. Take the head.
Oh, shit.
That guy got some ass, too.
God damn. Oh, shit.
Another one, fell in love. Yeah, man.
Can you believe that Wrath of Khan gave that to me?
I don't remember that part of the show and show.
Thanks, Jasmine. Yeah, that show, folks. That was one of the those were one of the Shogun deleted scenes or whatever was out that they didn't have that in there.
Shogun NASCAR edition.
Yeah, NASCAR Shogun edition. So, anyways, folks, we got a skeleton crew here, as one of the panels already said, for our Shogun Chapter 10, breakdown and recap and everything, the finale. We're here on the MCU'S YouTube channel and podcast. We've got some of the same members that we've had for the whole Shogun reviews. We have Andres. We've had you on almost all of them, I think. Imran, I think you've done like 5 of them now?
Yeah, this is the 4th one, I think.
Something like that. Brad, this will be your second one. So we lost a couple guests for the show. Cyber's not going to be here. We lost Justin too. That's okay. We're going to rock with what we have. But as always, folks, if you support and appreciate the content we make at the MCU's Bleeding Edge, consider liking, following, subscribing. Make sure you turn on notifications on our YouTube channel so that you're aware when we make new content, when we're live, all that good stuff. Guys, it's getting right into Shogun. And I mean, does anyone have any thoughts on the titty show? Or anything like that? Not any critiques on that? I thought they looked pretty good.
That one dude was deciding a whole life with that last answer. That's you tell by his face.
That chick with the underwear who pulled her underwear down while she was shaking her booty was hardcore.
That was at your house, right? Come on, you can tell us. That was like last night at your house in the back.
I wish that booty chick is fine. I wish she was at my house last night.
I need to buy more beads. That's what I need to do.
So before we go into chapter 10, since it's sort of, I guess, as a refresher, I'm going to pose you guys with an interesting question. I think, do you think episode 9 was better than episode 10? And I'll go to you first, Brad.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
And why would you say so?
Episode 9 to me and my host have already discussed that episode 10 felt like an epilogue. It felt like, after the end. Episode 9 was the end, and it was, the big action moment. It had like all of those teary feelings you get.
It had all the pieces of the big banging bigger finale.
Yeah, the story was basically done at 9 when we figured it out, and 10 was just kind of retelling. This was his master plan. This was Toranaga's master plan.
Okay, Andres Pop Culture guy, same question, sir.
That's a tough one. I equally like this with episode 9. I mean, I did agree with Brad. I think it is a epilogue, to the overall series. You don't have my favorite character, Mariko, here. So her death was mentioned a lot in episode 10, so that was really great. I liked it equally. I mean, this show was very character driven, which I really like. So, at least it was consistent from episode 9 from that. So that's great. That's all where I'm thinking right now with this episode.
Okay, Imran.
I agree with Brad. 9 is probably the best episode of the series. So 10, it was very unexpected. It was not what I was expecting, what they gave us, right? But it closes up loopholes. It closes up storylines. It's poetic. It's beautifully shot. It's kind of the aftermath of having seen the big part of the plan. Like, it's almost like I would have loved another episode where they would give us what we were all kind of expecting but didn't get. Would be amazing. But look, ending things is hard, right? You got to do what you do. I still think it's a great ending, despite the first time like having mixed emotions for an episode of this show that I've loved so far.
Especially ending things when it's based on a book.
Yes, there is a definitive ending, and they changed a lot. They update, they try to fix some of the accuracies, but there's an end. There's an end that's written, and you kind of have to get there. How you get there is always interesting.
It is interesting to go out and watch some of the videos on YouTube and stuff like that where they talk about what happened to these characters in real life.
Oh yeah,
what actually happened to them when they died and all that. I watched a video earlier today about what was like that.
It's fascinating. I read a bunch of articles about the real like William Adams and Tokugawa and what actually happened. So
it's interesting to fill the gaps in a little bit. So another starter question, right? And I'll go to you, Ibrad, and then I'll reverse the paddle back around. I'll go through to you, Andres, and over to you, Brad. Another starter question. What do you think if you had to like loosely rank who your loose top 3 characters from Shogun going all the way through episode 10? Just to throw it out there, what would it be? Don't put a lot of thought into it, but just loosely, not in order.
3 is hard.
How about 5? I'll give you 5.
Look, 5. 5 is good. Okay, we'll go 5. But like, there's really 4 really important characters who had amazing performances. And that's
do 5.
Toranaga. I'm gonna put Toranaga, Mariko, Blackthorn. I love Yabushige. And then who would I put at 5 that really? Oh, Fuji. I would have to put Fuji at 5. There's your top 5. Right?
Fuji's got to be in your top 5.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard not to put Fuji in the top 5. What do you think, Andres, pop culture guy?
So, top 5 favorite characters?
Yeah, from the series overall. Not in order.
Yeah, not in order. Okay. So my favorites are Mariko, Toranaga, Fuji will be 3rd, and then 4th will be Yabusashi.
Yabushige.
Yabushi.
Yabu.
I was gonna. Yes, our boy Yobu. Oh, poor Yobu. That's funny. I'm really sad today because it's like, oh my god, Yobu, poor fella. Anyway, and the 5th will be his nephew. I actually like.
Oh, Obi.
Obi.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. I like that.
Shout out to him. Yeah, he was great. I love him.
That's a good pick. I like that. All right, Brad, what do you got?
I'm trying to be different, but most of them will probably be the same. Mariko, Yabushige, Blackthorn. I'm going to go with Fuji, and then I'm going to throw in there Ochiba.
That's great. I was just going to be like Ochiba.
Yeah, you got to mention Ochiba because she was in the background, at least in the beginning, and then she put herself there. And she's really the reason Toranaga wins. Is he? Yeah. He basically convinces her to come to his side.
That was the whole game. That was the whole end game. Turns out.
And it's amazing because they really didn't give her much screen time in chapter 10. She really only had two scenes. I think maybe 3 in the entire chapter, right? But she wasn't that pivotal of a character.
Yeah, she turned the whole tide.
Yeah.
I mean, Mariko's death affected her enough where she basically turned on her husband Ishido, and that's where we basically got Toranaga winning. That was his whole plan. He didn't even have to bring an army in there. He had won that in episode 9.
He never planned on ever actually bringing an army
and he's smart.
Like that.
Would have been suicide, right? He knows there's no way if they actually did the Crimson Sky, it would be a slaughter.
Yeah, it was a subterfuge the entire time.
And that's great when you think about it. Is Crimson Sky was basically Mariko. Yeah. She was the Crimson Sky.
And he says it. He didn't send an army, he sent one woman. And it's wild that we're watching the plan and we didn't even know we were watching the plan. That's how good his plan was.
And he basically lost 3 people and gained an empire.
Yeah. Well, I would argue it was more than 3 people. Like in this one too, he's chopping heads off at the end, right? He lost his whole army to the earthquake. These people were willing to die for him. Absolutely.
I did forget about the earthquake.
But then he's killing his villagers and telling everyone, I'm trying to find these Christian raiders that don't exist. And I was like, bro, Toranaga, You went hard.
Let me reel us back into the actual episode and the start of it, and whatnot, and everything, and then we'll go right to questions right off that. So we get the Blackthorn dream sequence right off the bat, right? Which you don't know in the audience whether or not that's real or not yet. You know what I'm saying? Until like you go farther into the episode. And then we see the immediate aftermath of the explosion where Rico, gets taken out, and Blackthorn giving her last rites and all that shit and whatnot, everything, right? And right from there, Toranaga's sitting by a fire with his falcon, kind of just like peacefully, and then the council meets, and everyone's pissed off. Toranaga sends a letter saying that he's pissed off now. Right. And now he's going to just withdraw and go to war. Right. So it's on. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'll stop there. And Yabu is delusional. Shido goes to visit Yabu, and Yabu's all like,
was trying to catch fish.
Yabu's pissed off. Yabu fucked up because he
freaking out.
He thought Riku was only going to get grabbed up.
Yeah.
He didn't think that she was actually going to get killed. And so now he feels really guilty and shit and whatnot. He's all delusional trying to grab catfish in a pond that aren't even there. So I'll stop there, and that's the opening. I'll go to you, Brad. What do you think of the opening of Shogun Chapter 10?
I thought it was okay. The part I didn't like about it is I didn't like the Blackthorn kind of death scene, and we're figuring out it's his memories. They could have saved that for the end, because that's basically telling you Blackthorn lived through all that before we even get into the epilogue of the story. So that's why I didn't like the beginning of this. It's just that scene. I think everything else with it was great, though. I love that Yabushigi's basically having a breakdown because he's figured out he can only flip-flop so many times, and this is it. He knows he's done. So great acting right there. And I think this episode tied up everything nicely. But the beginning, I wouldn't have gone with the Blackthorn in his old age death scene.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I know. I mean, he was really ugly looking and shit and whatnot in the bed. Like it was really a turn off for me.
Literally shitting the bed.
Yeah, like for real.
His grandkids were going, "Oh, look at the sword he used on so many of those savages," and it's like he didn't even use it.
Did you really get that from a savage dad or a grandfather or whatever? Yeah.
As he's sitting there going,
What do you think, Rob? What are your thoughts on that?
That confused the shit out of me. It didn't take me until watching it a second time, and the title of an episode is a giveaway too. The episode's called a dream of a dream. But just like you, Brad, I thought they were showing us that he survives and he
he's
gets
like
out.
100 years old.
Why would you tell us this? Now we know he's not gonna die. Like, why would you give this away? And it wasn't until second viewing that I was like, I get it, the cross, blah blah blah. He's streaming. But outside of that, solid opening. You do have confirmation. Mariko is dead. Mm-hmm. It's very sad. I love when the council votes for war. Ultimately, the fucking ground shakes, which is probably not a good omen. And then Kiyama is like, maybe this requires more debate.
You know what it actually was? Shaquille O'Neal was right above the room in the second floor of the second floor of the paper and bamboo house, remember what that all that shit. Shaquille was on the second floor, and he was stretched out or something, or whatever, whatnot, and everything. It was the wrong way.
The Japanese would think he's Godzilla. Shaq ever went to Japan. You see how big? You ever seen Steel? There's a scene in Steel where he's like making love to a woman in this car, and he literally destroys the car. It's like a Ford Impala. He destroys.
The tires fall off.
Yeah, just banging this woman. Like, this man is too big to do anything. But then yes, and Yabu freaking out, also hilarious. I feel bad for him, but he brought it on himself, really. Yeah,
what are you gonna do with Yabu, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fun. It was rough scene and delusional.
Yeah, I mean, his ears are ringing, right? There's an explosion. It's gonna knock you loopy a little bit.
I think that also is the moment when Ishido is going, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, picked the wrong guy.
Yeah. He's about to put him on the council. What do you think, Andre, the pop culture guy?
Yeah, I kind of agree with the majority here. I mean, yeah, I agree with Aaron here. Like I was like, what is this? Who is this old guy? Was it I thought it was gonna be some, I don't know, some person we met before, but I wasn't expecting that was Blackthorn or Blackbeard, Blackfoot, whatever you want to call him. Very weird. And plus, it doesn't even connect to the next scene. That because he's still alive. I mean, I get that this explosion caused people to have those kind of hearing problems because of the impact. So weird way to open the episode, but whatnot. Raph, shut up. Hate you. Anyway, I thought that I kind of wish we had maybe there's a few nitpicks here and there this opening. Like I wish Miracle had like a proper funeral, which will I kind of wish we got a little more aftermath of her death.
I needed 50 days of mourning myself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got that for the stupid son who was an idiot. Child,
Well, I mean, I think it buys him 30 days. Like she mentions it, like Mariko will have a generous burial, right? So it bought him another month of just waiting to do something.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, come on, Mariko deserves a proper funeral than the kid that was just so reckless. But why not? Yeah,
that was one of Ochiba's only speaking scenes in the entire chapter was right there in the council when she made sure to respond to the Catholic regents.
She talks to the heir later. Remember, she finishes her poem.
The poem. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So she was barely in the episode. Like we saw her in a few shots, as you were saying, Jeff. Yeah. It makes sense. And it was funny when the earthquake happened, and that was one of my funny moments when the guy's like, we need much debate. I'm like, hey, what do you want much debate? Just go to war.
And then Ishido's like, no, goddamn it, it's a fucking earthquake.
It's an earthquake. It's no superstition. It's nothing. All right, it's not ghosts telling us that this is wrong. It's like we're going to war. He just picks this paper up. I was like, yes, thank you. You're wasting time here to do war. So that was funny. And poor Yobo, whatever you want to call him. My boy, he was suffering. I mean, he was just, come on, man. He was one of my favorite characters and he was suffering. When he just came down, he goes to the water, to that pond. He thinks there's a fish there. I was like, oh my God, we're going down to this road. Poor fellow.
Oh, and they were gonna give him a spot on the council. He was in.
Yeah.
Man was seeing shit.
Yeah. So so overall this opening is okay. It wasn't spectacular. I mean it was gonna be tough to follow up the last episode with that big, explosion, So I mean they did their best, and I just don't I think they couldn't execute this opening much better with a maybe more somber and or just aftermath about what happened to Miracle, instead of just having this bizarre flashback that means nothing to us because we're not gonna get a follow-up to the show, so it's so weird. So so it's okay.
Well, it connects to later on in the episode when and you realize that he's dreaming that. That's his dreams. He's being haunted by these dreams of a future that he's not sure what he wants to do, where he wants to be. He's still straddling that line. You know what I'm saying? At least that's how I read it. Right?
Okay. No. That makes sense. I think they should have done was to move that flashback to the moment when we saw him, in that bandage that the doctor was wrapping up.
They do it briefly then also real quick, right? It comes back.
They do. Yeah.
Focuses on him.
They do.
I think this is him letting go of any chance that he would ever go back to England.
Yeah.
And get old. He's just it's not.
Yeah.
He's not.
No, I agree. It's just a weird edit.
It was weird. It was definitely a weird edit.
It
confuses you at first, and you gotta go back and watch it again.
Just last thought. I just feel like it's just out of place. I think they should have put it where two scenes before we get back to Blackthorn. It's just why do it at the beginning? It throws you off a little bit.
Honestly, you could have taken out all of it And would it have changed much? It would have been fine. Like it would have been fine. Wouldn't have changed anything. That's why I thought it was weird. Like, why are you even doing this?
Probably because they titled it "A Dream Within a Dream." Or
Yeah.
A Dream of a Dream. That was probably it.
That is the title.
But we gotta do something with dreams.
All right. So we go back to Toranaga, right? He's sitting there in the fire with in front of this fire or whatever. We already had that scene. We're going back to Toranaga. Blackthorn wakes up. He has that little mini dream of his old man self again. He gets told that Lord Kiyama's men are going to take him to Edo or whatever, right? Or whatever the fuck it's called over by where Toranaga is.
Ajiro, yeah.
Ajiro. And Blackthorn doesn't believe it, right? Father Albedo jumps in and kind of intervenes to lead the way, and through dialogue, right, explains to him that essentially that Mariko secured Blackthorn's life, right? So he's not going to be killed when when Blackthorn stops in the woods and is like, so I'm obviously going to die right here, and he's like, no, the arrangements were made, and you're gonna live, and wishes him best of luck, right? And that's what happens. You see Blackfoot's emotions, Castle Jarvis did a really good job, I thought, pulling that scene off. He pulled off a lot of great scenes in this episode. Mm-hmm. He's probably one of the pillars of the episode. Yeah. At the end of the day. So he shows up. We get the scene with Ichiba Nokata and the young Taiko, right, where they're finishing the poem from Mariko and all that whatnot, right? It's very, very emotional. And then we go to Yabu and Blackfoot are on the ship on their way to whatever the fuck it's called, Yurito or whatever the fuck. I don't know why I can't think straight with that. Ichiro. They show up and Yabu is still all delusional, and Blackfoot's got to tell him yo, come correct, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get your shit together. He's trying to wants him to die and all that shit, whatnot, for he did with Toranaga and all that shit, strip it down naked. So they see that Blackthorn's ship has been scuttled, right? And as they walk up, they get pulled up. Yabu gets grabbed up by Toranaga's bed, right? And they go right in front of Toranaga, and that he admits his guilt with what happened with Mariko, right? And gets instructed to seppuku, the next night by nightfall or whatnot, right? Asks Blackthorn to second him. Toranaga rejects that, and so Yabu asks for Toranaga, and Toranaga accepts, right? So then we get Fuji sitting with Blackthorn, and there's an empty spot there. There's there's a real comfort there for a minute, whatnot, when you see Fuji with Blackthorn together and whatnot and all that. But then they realize that Rico's not there, and his interpreter's gone, and there's a silence there. It's very haunting. Yeah. I thought. And I'll stop there. So, questions, Imran, what are your thoughts on that section of the episode, sir?
Well, it was kind of sad with Blackthorn when he comes to and they tell him Mariko's been buried already. I was like, oh man, he missed the whole burial. We missed the burial, just like you said, Andres. They didn't show it. It happens off screen. And the whole scene in the forest is great. Him walking with the priest. I just love when he's like, oh, you don't know Yoshi Toranaga, if that's what you think is happening. And essentially Blackthorn's figured out his plan. He's like, the hostages are free. He didn't have to go to war. This is exactly what he was doing. And Yabu on the boat is hilarious. He's like, hey, we could go, where are you from? We're going to your homeland. What's it called? He's just freaking out. And when Blackthorn has to tell you, pull yourself together, man. Oh, you got off the deep end if Anjin-sama is telling you that. That's ridiculous. You never want to be in that position.
When the barbarian's talking sense.
Yeah, the barbarian suddenly is the level-headed one. This is also when we get to see those heads. You see,
in the city, because Toranaga is holding all the people in the Jiru accountable and not for the sinking of the ship, even though he did it.
This is wild. Think about what he's doing. This is his own village. He set up a test for Blackthorn while harassing and just killing people from his village. This is all part of his little that's dark. This dude, I don't know if this is a good guy or a bad guy. There's all sorts of levels, but you know, the ends justify the means here.
I think it's more of a cultural thing.
Yeah,
it's a very deep cultural thing. It's like, you know, death is kind of not avoided.
Right. Yeah. Embraced.
It's very embraced because when every episode before this, everyone's wanting to die.
Well, the whole show, everybody would wants to die all the time. They would die on the drop of
at least
time.
Twice in each episode.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna Oh, the coffee's too cold. I'm just gonna kill myself.
I wanted to die. I never really contemplated suicide until I started becoming the fan of Shogun. Now I'm talking about seppuku all the time.
Jeff in his kitchen holding a butter knife, like
yeah.
Just I burnt the toast. Well, I'm gonna have to kill myself.
Mom, I'm trying to live stream here. What the fuck? I'm on a seppuku now. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Mom, I'm seppuku now.
Mom, second me.
You embarrassed me. Now you gotta second me. I'm seppuku.
Can you second me? Come down here in the basement. You have to save my soul.
I'm trying to do that YouTube stuff, Mom. Remember I told you?
No, and then the whole
many
thing,
views.
The whole thing with Yabu, and he's like, I want a better death. Can't you like have me torn apart by bears or wolves or whatever? That was pretty funny too. Like, but
Yabu wanted a messy death.
Yeah, he's like, I want an epic death. Like, I want you to have to clean me up for days. I want to be remembered.
Yabu's like, I want to go to the She-Hulk massage and spa, baby.
Yes.
To be finished up, whatnot, everything, right?
Squeeze it out of my intestines.
Yeah, I want to hear Yabu's poem.
Oh, his poem is great. It's the best death poem.
The She-Hulk death.
Out of all of them, the She-Hulk death poem.
Tight grip. Intestines strewn.
That's the Marvel method.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. Go on to the next person.
Oh my god. Got Jeff already. Already halfway the show.
Oh, whatever, man. Oh, whatever. Brad, what are your thoughts, sir?
I honestly, I thought Blackthorn was going to die in that forest.
Yeah,
because I've seen so many deaths in that forest
That's
by
true.
this point. And so when it was told to us that Mariko had, made this deal with the Catholics for safe harbor, I was like, oh wow. Oh, then they didn't really explain the deal until you got to where his boat is gone, and then you're like, oh, that was the deal. But even what was great is Blackthorn didn't care. Like, he was so just engrossed that Mariko had cared for him that much. He didn't even care about the boat. And for 8 episodes, all he wanted was his boat.
Yeah.
So that was pretty great. I'm trying to think what else was through this.
They really did a great job of really like wrapping up his character arc. I thought, at least in the end chapter. You can say what you want about it as a finale or whatever, whatnot, right? Like maybe trying to versus episode 9 like we were in the beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. But they did a great job with wrapping up his arc and Tornaga's arc, at least. That was on purpose.
Yeah, I mean the episode 9 was the action-packed finale, basically, and this is just wrapping up all the loose ends. Yabushige on the boat trying to be like, look, I can be emperor too and swim with you, and it's just like, no, it's done, Yabu. It's time to go to bed. But Yabushige's death in this, I felt really bad for Yabu because he really wanted this kind of epic death, and he just kind of got the mundane death that most of all his samurai got. And then the moments with Fuji in this episode I really thought were great.
You can you can cross over if you want and everything. Right after where I stopped is when Fuji reveals to Blackthorn that she's going to be a nun and all that, right?
Yeah,
so
that was
that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that really strengthened Fuji's character in this episode, because Blackthorn was like, you will not be a nun. Yeah. You're my consort. Yeah. And then Fuji's just like, I don't work for you.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I don't even work for Toranaga anymore. Like, I'm out.
That's great.
It's just Blackthorn's realization that she's leaving, and he just has to accept it, just like
because he doesn't want to be alone.
Yeah, he just lost Mariko, right? And now he's losing Fuji.
And that's the thing I think this is trying to explain, is he's trying to accept Mariko's death, and he hasn't quite got there. And with Fuji leaving too, that's even going to be an even lonelier existence in his house.
I love that Fujisama best done. I wish he just said ever at the end. Why didn't he just go best done ever?
Ever.
Just add one more word.
You got anything else, Brad?
That's it for what I can remember right now.
Andres, you got anything, Brad? What you got?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me start with Yopo, my poor boy Yopo. Yeah, like his stuff was so mundane. It was so funny. Like it was funny about it was like so dramatic. Like
We're not talking about his death yet.
well, wait, Brian talked about that.
Brad.
You know. Oh yeah, Brad. Oh my god,
I call you Jasmine.
We've established that
Oh my God.
Nice one. Nice
maybe
one.
not the best with
Nice one. Good one, Brad.
I miss Jasmine. Where's
yeah. You know what? I blame Jasmine. I'm so sorry, folks.
Jasmine.
Jasmine, you messed up my groove here tonight, sir. Anyway, all right. So the beginning, when our heroes or villains, what do you want to call them? You know, they went back to the village. We saw from pretty much the whole half series. It was very funny to see Yobo again losing his mind. Like he knew he was going to be in trouble. And it was funny. He asked him where he was from in England, and it was funny to see like a white man telling him, "Oh, get yourself together, man. Come on, be a samurai," you know. So that was very funny. And man, that's why I placed his nephew, because this is where I actually really started to like his nephew. You know, the fact those two were always together. Gossiping about.
He's the one that basically he's the one that got into trouble, basically.
Omi turned him in. They heard him say he was so bad, and he tattled that, and they wrote a letter, and he read it, and he told on him.
Yes,
exactly. So yeah, so
a lot of letters. A lot of
letter writing this episode.
Chapter, no billowing, but lots of lettering.
Yeah,
going back and forth.
That's what you need in a good finale. A lot of letters.
A lot of letters. Oh my god, when we get to his, death, one of the most funny moments. I cannot believe they did that, and I was like, oh my god, this is the best show ever. Anyway, so I was very shocked that seeing him get arrested by nephew and all that, and seeing Tanaka again was really great because he wasn't in episode 9. That's another thing that we have to sort of address here. This is more a Tanaka episode again. So seeing him again was very refreshing. And seeing him talking to Yobo, and going through commending him that was it tomorrow morning, the next day, tomorrow morning you're gonna perform the yakuza, this Sekaba. And I was like, oh my god, he's asking for Blackthorn, gets rejected. He gets rejected with 2 multiple deaths that he wanted to be killed by either a bear or what was it, fish, some kind. It was
technically 3 because he wanted to be eaten by dogs in a field.
Eaten by dogs, yeah. I think it was that.
He wanted to go one-on-one with Shaquille O'Neal. He wanted to play horse with him.
Yeah, or Michael B. Jordan. I mean Michael Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
I didn't know Michael B. Jordan. I didn't know Michael B. Jordan could hoop, baby.
I'm sorry, YouTube. I was saying Michael Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan. I'm sorry. Anyway, you guys.
Oh man, your game is way off tonight, brother.
Michael Jordan basketball, Michael B. Jordan boxing.
The boxer, yeah,
close.
He's an actor. He's an actor, but
exactly. Yeah. Hey, look, Rocky 4. We saw a Russian person kill his father. So technically, that's another death that Yobo can take. Anyway, so the poor Yobo was trying to get a decent death that's so epic or so ridiculous that we saw in this show, like Tanaga's son tripping himself and hitting him in the rock. I mean, that's a better death than just,
that ranks like a number 3 on Yaku's list.
Yeah. Oh god. So very sad. And then what's the ending part, Jeff? So it can
where Fuji and Blackthorn talk, and Fuji reveals to him that she's going to become a nun and all that shit.
Yeah, so Fuji, we love Fuji here. Great character. I kind of wish we had more of her in the show. In the half point, because she was, she was big in the first few episodes, and then somehow we dropped her off, which was a shame. But I was shocked that she became a nun. I was actually confused. I don't know what you guys were watching. I had to rewind it because I was like, wait, what was she doing?
Was she Christian before? Is she saying she's going to convert?
I think she must have been converting or something. I don't remember her being Catholic before or Christian before.
No, you couldn't have been Christian under Taranaga, because remember Taranaga didn't like the church, right? Yeah. If you're going to do that, then you have to leave Taranaga. So I guess she talked to Taranaga. I want to go to this way, and she probably had to.
They're not like against the church or whatnot. It's just not his shit. He doesn't really care about it.
Yeah, I don't know where his stance on the religion part. I just know
he just doesn't care.
Yeah, he kept Mariko around.
Yeah,
he's Christian, and
yeah.
I think he thought that the church more as a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So okay, so she becomes a nun, right? And I was like, okay, I was really sad that she said she couldn't stay with Blackthorn. I love the character, and I agree with you guys. It's because Blackthorn is really shaken up by what happened to Mariko. Because she really had feelings for him, and they had sex. Last episode, before, twice, that's true. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you remember, Jeff? We had an argument how dark. Well, no, you and I were in the same boat, right? Or me and Cyber.
It's too dark. We couldn't see anything.
So listen, I'm glad you said that, because I had the same thought watching that the first time. It was not clear that first time in the dark when he's told to go to the brothel that was Mariko. And I still am unsure if that was her, or did the show ever imply that was her? It was very confusing. I didn't know.
I thought he banged the prostitute.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So when he went to the brothel, this was before.
Yeah,
when a consort came into his room.
Yeah,
and just from how they were talking and looking at each other, I was like, oh, that's probably Mariko.
Yeah,
like what? I think they did that on purpose, is to not have it a little bit ambiguous. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's just what confirmed it was the next scene when they were having breakfast or whatever.
Yeah,
right.
And Fuji was.
Said, "Did you enjoy like your consort or whatever?"
Yeah, exactly. So it was
Fuji was in the dark. Like, I don't know.
He doesn't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yo, I still think Fuji's best bit is when she has the guns. Remember and then just like move along. I'm gonna keep the guns.
Fuji with the give me the loot.
That was great. He's like, give me the guns. She's like, you're gonna have to move along now.
Yeah, move along. Yeah, it was so perfect. So so fun character. I mean, at least I'm happy she had more scenes in this episode than the previous time.
There's another touching scene coming up too, like really touching.
Yeah, that was my favorite moment.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say. I think this section was my favorite part of this episode.
I think, as a Shogun fan, I think all of us would love to have seen Fuji and Blackthorn together, and have that be the end, you know what I'm saying, whatnot. But, I mean, but that's just, just enjoying the show and enjoying the series. I'm playing a trailer. So here we go. Trailer time.
Do not be fooled by our politeness. Our bows are made of rituals. Death is in our air. And sea and earth. Just remember. We live and we die. We control nothing beyond that.
There's a saying out here, every man has 3 hearts. One in his mouth for the world to know. Another in his chest, just for his friends. And a secret heart, buried deep, where no one can find it. What kind of man wields power in a land like this? The The one with the open or the one you never see? Will I die here? Likely. Malagiwa mo metaka no minorin bagaricha. War is coming.
Life and death are the same. Both can have value and purpose.
This is not where we die. We should be corpses, I know. But here we are. My life is mine and yours is yours. If you can't see that, you'll never be free of this prison.
It is you who is imprisoned. Freedom is all you ever live for.
己の務めを果たす覚悟はできておるか。
覚悟はできておりまする。
Hear me, my son. I alone will tell you the truth. Death is the only punishment here.
I have not told you my family name, but it is well known in Japan. Many years ago, a great injustice stole everything from me. I have learned one truth, that enemies are everywhere and friends nowhere. To show your true heart is to risk your life. Because death can come for us at any moment.
These are dire times. Hinomoto wa senran no you ni tachikaeru no wake. Doomed lovers, cursed kings. These people are godless savages. Or maybe they just don't give a shit what you think. Toki wa kita!
おり高ぶった逆賊から日の本を守らねばならん。
もはや戦議は終わったと思ってよいのじゃな。
動けない。
その後、己の敵の正体が分かっておらぬのじゃ。
You cannot play their games. That's how they dominate. A title revered through the ages. Shogun.
Hell yeah, baby. What are you guys' thoughts on the trailers? You're probably your last chance to talk about them. So
That music is epic as always.
it is fucking epic, isn't it? What do you think? What, you want to start off, Brad? What are your thoughts on the trailers?
Oh, I love the trailers. I think the trailers tell a lot of the story, but leave so much out that you're just engrossed by the visuals. And it's like, yeah, I got to watch this. I got to know what all this is about. And then the tagline about the kings and all that. Yeah, that was good stuff.
It's good. They cut it. They chopped him up. They chopped up his audio to make that to make that into the trailer. I like that too. What do you think, Rod, about the trailers? Brad's right. The music is fucking dope.
Yeah, the trailers have always been well cut. I forgot about the Spaniard. He was a great character. And
Yeah.
And those lines he had, they were foreshadowed. They're kind of telling us what was coming up.
Which episode was the last where we saw the Spaniard?
I feel like it was like 2 or 3.
2 or 3. 2 or 3.
Yeah. And then he just disappears. He's a great character. But this all will lead into when we get to the whole thing about the battle or the alleged battle. Like maybe it's because of shows like Game of Thrones. Maybe it's the trailer. Maybe they were leading into expect a big battle. You know, maybe I'm trained by Game of Thrones. Every season at the end, you're gonna get a giant battle. Maybe that's what I was looking for, and I didn't get it, so I don't know.
And like the old samurai movies, like
Yeah.
we mentioned this on our show, Ron and Kagemusha, and you get these epic, Kurosawa samurai battles, and that was not in here.
Yeah.
Because Toranaga was just smarter than that.
Yeah, he was. The whole point was to avoid it.
Yeah.
13 Assassins, a great movie. You ever seen that? That's got a great whole.
I have not seen that one. Sword of Doom, though. Sword of Doom. I bring up for anyone that wants to watch. Yeah.
The Last Samurai is a good one too.
I like Last Samurai.
That Last Samurai is great. Love that one.
All right, what do you think, Andres? The trailers.
No, I agree with the guys here. Trailers is well cut. I never really thought about it. Now I guess this trailer did kind of tricked us that we were kind of expecting a big battle,
right? It wasn't just me.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I was so hooked from the beginning. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get a classic, big samurai, or Japanese kind of what style as we brought up the movies, like,
or even a ship battle.
A ship battle,
like a Battle of Blackwater Bay kind of.
They kept teasing that. You don't even see them use the cannons again after all the talk about the cannons.
No, the cannons and the guns are just gone.
They're just what happened to those? I want to see more. I wanted more of that.
Yeah. We made such a big deal of the cannons, and like the cannons killed what's it, escort from the council. Yeah, and it was a big deal in in episode 4, and of course it was Taranaga's son that did it, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be big, and nope, it did, but in a different way. So yeah, you were expecting these type of big battles from like Last Samurai or Seven Samurai or any of the classic that we all brought up just now, and it wasn't that. I mean, and to be fair, just finishing this up, I feel like that wasn't the show. It was a character driven kind of show. It wasn't a plot. With those things, it's more plot driven. It's like,
it was a political drama.
Yeah, and that's fine. I was totally fine with that, because everything was important. And the thing was, Taranaga, as a character, I think they were very consistent, and I think everything was paid off so well with him. It's like, oh, he played the long game, and so he was playing the game. It was just like he was so good at tricking us. Like that was the thing I love about the show. Now is like they tricked us.
It's subverted your expectations. It's every episode's been unexpected, and this was no different. I should have expected not getting what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. So in a way, I think the trailers did a good job of not spoiling anything. That's the main thing for me in terms of trailers.
There's clips from like episode 9 in that trailer too. So I was like, man, they were showing a lot, but not showing anything.
Yeah. No, Raph, I'm not mad that they tricked me. I'm just saying that that being tricked is good. I mean, I would prefer Taranaka trick me than you tricking me, Raph, of causing me this trouble of mixing the people's name and bringing a Michael B. Jordan instead of Michael Jordan earlier.
Listen, go easy on Jasmine. He's just trying to help.
Yeah, try to help. Be in the show, sir. What is going on? I know you're on vacation. You just put a cell phone. It's like, hey guys, here's my opinion. Have this long talk about random things about
whatever. Whatever. Anyway.
No, Raph, I love you, buddy. Miss you. Have a good vacation.
All right, so well, I glossed over it, but then we did get the Fuji, and Blackthorn moment, right? Where they talked and whatnot, and everything, right? That was, Imran, you didn't really get a chance to touch on that. So when I go around again, feel free to address it. But that's when Toranaga gets the letter from his wife or whatever, whatnot, right?
From Ochiba.
From Ochiba, letting him know that she's not going to support Ishido in the war, right? And then we get the Ochiba scene with the son. That's really great. And then, the Fuji telling Blackfoot, she's going to become a nun. Blackfoot, telling her, rejecting that, and telling her that she has to stay with him and everything and whatnot, right? And then asking her, she mentions, that she's really unhappy with how the village is being treated right now because of the ship. And Blackthorn asks to see Toranaga about it, and goes and ponders in his garden and whatnot and everything before he goes to see him. Goes and tries to address Toranaga in Japanese. Toranaga's spy samurai is there. That's been around in a lot of the episodes, right? He's there to translate. And basically fucking Blackfoot's like, look, if you're not going to fucking spare these people, like it was, Lady Muriaku's the one who did it and had my ship scuttled and whatnot, everything. It wasn't these people. I'm going to seppuku myself. And like he tries to. Toranaga like stops him and slaps him like a little bitch and is like, just whenever you want to stop this bullshit, go rebuild your ship and build me a ship, a fleet of ships, right? And Blackfoot does one last stupid Blackfoot blank face look or whatever, whatnot, right? For us, like one last one, and like all confused and shit, whatnot. He's really good at that. And that's at the end of the scene, right? Before we go to the Toranaga Yabu. So I'll stop there. I'll go to you on his pop culture guy. What are your thoughts, sir, on the Blackthorn, going to Toranaga, seppukuing and everything and whatnot?
Let me say it was a bit difficult. I mean, it was very, Blackthorn way, he's just, complaining as usual, and he's like the one. I don't know, like he should understand that there are some traitors in the village that could be potentially to the other cast, right? And so I don't know why he's making this like his priority to save these people. Like he doesn't know them. Like, I mean, this is not where Merkel was from, Like if it was in the other side, the other village, then yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. I felt that scene was so weird, but it was whatever. But I appreciate that Toranaga bitch slapped him and it's like, dude, get to the program and build me some ships. And I agreed. So I'm very happy. Oh my God, Raph, you're paying the blood now. Anyway, so so now that that was the big reveal that Toranaga wanted, the Blackbeard, Blackbeard, whatever his name is now, Blackbeard, Blackfoot, keep him in the
black balls, black ass,
black seed oil.
Okay. He has so many names, I can't keep it. Anyway, black.
Do you remember when Kim said that Nagato slipped on the rope, and that's how he killed him. That's how he died, or whatever, that end scene or whatever. Whatnot. That shit was fucking hilarious.
Yes, because it was funny, and it was like, wow, kid, the one thing you have a job to do is kill him, and you didn't pay attention to the rope, whatever he was wearing.
No, she actually said rope. That there was a rope there.
Yeah, a rope there.
That's how I connected to the Rock's rope sex toy.
Yeah. Anyway.
I was like, yeah, Kim, just like the rock and rope sex toys.
Yeah. So anyway, he wants to keep him there and try to build ships. So this is where I need to ask you guys. So Toranaga's plan is to keep him to build ships, right, for him?
Well, we don't know his plan yet until he talks to Yabushige. You don't know, you see him, you just see him read this letter, and then you see relief on his face. We don't know what's in the letter. That was great, and I think this was a loyalty test, right? What do you think, Brad? Is this Toranaga is testing Blackthorn's loyalty here?
I think so. I think this was one of the stronger scenes in the whole episode, personally, because you have Blackthorn, who used to be all about his men and his boats.
Yeah,
that's all he wanted.
Just
and
himself.
Now he's willing to give his life for a whole village because he's adapted to their culture. He understands more of what their life and, more importantly, their death means. And so he's willing to go the extra mile and just cut his gut open to prove a point. And just the way he goes about it, when he goes, he asks nicely, and when that doesn't work, he gets angry, and he basically tells Toranaga, you're a shithead, and if you're killing enemies, I'm the enemy. I've come here to control you. And he basically yells that at him.
I love that. He's like, I fed you shit. Fed you. And what's funny is he's telling Toranaga that he used him when it's the other way around. And Blackthorn,
I pillow your consort, bitch.
Yeah.
So it's a very pivotal scene in this, and yes, I believe this was a loyalty test, and I believe Toranaga just just found entertainment with him again.
Yeah, he says it later. Did anybody think he was actually going to succeed?
Can you imagine if Blackfoot, when Fuji was like, I'm going to become a nun, Blackfoot was like, could you put on the outfit for me one time at least?
Just one.
Before you dip, whatnot, put the outfit on for me so we can go pillow with it real quick. You know what I'm saying?
That's when he should have substituted himself, when he found out she was going to be a nun. He was like, all right, it's over. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
What a waste of a character.
Oh my god. Yeah. What was it? The reveal of the spy. That was
great. He's
like,
cool. He's like, I'm actually a samurai.
Samurai, yeah.
I mean, I look it, but you know.
Yeah, I changed my name, but I'm also Christian, so we can do both things. He's like, we can do both.
So Portuguese, got it. We're good.
Got it.
I did like how he was like, this conversation's a little bit above, just the fisherman. Can we?
He was funny, man. That guy's been in a lot of episodes, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And Blackthorn answering in Japanese was also dope. Like,
yes.
Took the time to learn it.
What's going on with Blackthorn's ability to speak Japanese? It was strong a couple episodes ago, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's not shown, but in the book, they actually show him being given a dictionary in Japanese.
Wow. So he got a lot better. Clearly, he can understand and speak a lot more.
Yeah. I kind of wish they had that, but I mean, at the same time, it's kind of like he's been there with them, so he kind of easily picks up.
Yeah, a lot of time has passed.
Yeah, they don't really show the timeline.
Yeah. It's hard, like, from the first episode.
It's been 6 months easily since he first showed up.
Definitely.
Yeah, at least.
Could be longer, though.
Yeah, it could be 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. Yeah.
Like
that kind of shows you how crafty Blackthorn is.
Yeah.
Because if you stuck me in some place for 6 months, I don't think I'd learn the language that well.
You'd have to.
I know Cerveza.
You're right, Rathacon. If I had been Blackfoot, I would have pillowed Fuji all the way up to the nun shit. I would have been like, fuck the boat shit, unless you want to fuck in the boat.
One last time for
Jeff
fun.
trying to change her.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to be a nun? Let me show
Let's try again.
Have you checked out atheism lately? Anyways, all right. Who's next on the firing squad here? What do you got, Ron?
No, I think we just
like everybody in. Are we
did
done
it collectively?
Did we get all the way around? Are we good? All right, good.
What was your thoughts, Jeff?
Really?
Basically, just that overall, I really wanted to play this clip. I didn't really have any thoughts, so I wanted to play this clip from one of our earlier shows doing the thing. I'm focused on my moderation, man. I'm in the zone. When I'm moderating, I don't even really think about like my actual thoughts.
Like Jess. And
plus, Kiku's is tested. She's clean. She's STD free. They use like some kind of like rock STD test, boat made on a boat or something, or whatnot.
You pee on this orchid and it doesn't turn brown.
Yeah,
we're good. I don't know how they did that back then.
In the book, she has like all these crazy sex toys and shit, and whatnot.
Oh, I heard about that. Yes, they're more elaborate, and it's not as like this was a lot more thoughtful than.
I know that. But me and Kim talked about the sex toys before in the past on the show. We figured they probably were like made out of sticks and shit, and whatnot. Like rope.
It's true. They were back then. Like
that would be like painful.
You got polished that shit. You just gotta polish it real nice, right? Just get it shiny. I don't know.
I'm sure they had it figured out.
They're going to kill me. I told them to send me a video holding an object and start nodding.
Anything is a dildo when you really put your mind to it. There's no such thing as too large or too sharp. Every time you stop to question yourself, I want you to tell yourself, I can and I will.
There you go, folks. Was that not the best timing on that, or what? That was perfect.
Pretty good jump cut.
Andres, was that good timing or what? Look, I got Kim and I got Sarin to fall out. Both of them at the same time.
I knew Andres was gonna react that way. Andres is like, no.
Oh my god, the Fiji bottle.
I know. She's like.
I know. I would really love to see her do that. I know.
I'm sure you would.
I'd love to see her seppuku with that. Hey, what's up, Rathacon? Sorry about that. Hey, what's up, Rathacon? And there he is, Rathacon, right in the comment section. Look at that connection. There you go, folks. That's what's everyone's favorite dildo. I like the rock and rope one.
The only thing I kept thinking of during that whole thing was Bad Santa's wooden pickle.
Wooden pickle. It's great.
I made you a wooden pickle.
Did you see, Imran? Did you see that I put out a segment from one of our shows that was Yabu's Bulge segment?
Yeah.
It was good. It did good. It got like 3,000 views. Thanks, Andre. I really like how you add those like that. He was add some rap scratching and shit, and whatnot. You know, some like do the turntables.
This is when Andre introduces Killmonger.
Appreciate that, Andre. That really.
Everyone, here's my best friend Killmonger here,
Michael B. Jordan.
He has a lot of thoughts about Shogun episode 10.
All right, so the Toranaga Yabu scene. What can we say? You know, I'll let you guys just basically explain what goes on, basically, in your contributions, because basically, Yabu, starts asking questions. He comes correct. There's a really good scene with him and Omi first, right? Where like him and he's lucid now. All of a sudden, dying or whatever, whatnot. I guess, sobers Yabu up. There's actually really good quip in there where his little like bitch cousin, nephew, whatever, whatnot, everything is like, have a good death. Have a good death.
I love when he gives him the death poem and he's really proud of it. He's like, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Like, put my body out on the field so the rotten dogs can eat me or some shit.
He's like, it's pretty amazing, right? Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I got bars, yo.
Yabu is
not boiling a man alive or anything.
To the end, he is hilarious and the best humor throughout the whole show. That whole like have a good death deal was fucking great. Okay.
Death. I mean, that's something I guess you would say a lot in this world. Have fun, have a great death. Have fun.
It was fucking hilarious when I heard.
I've been looking forward to this forever.
So basically, Yabu starts asking Toranaga all these questions, and Toranaga explains his whole shit, like how it's all going to go down. We even did like a flash forward to like the big battle of Urojiri or whatever, some shit, where like Ishido gets the letter and realizes that he's not going to have the banners of the Taiko, right, supporting him, and it all falls apart. And Toranaga wins, right? Like he has to concede, so he becomes Shogun, right? And I'll
does he though? This is what we got to talk about. Does this bother anyone else? Like,
you can start it, Ron. Go ahead, you start.
Like they show you the fields, they show you the armies, and you're like, oh shit, we're gonna get into it. Like, what's going on? And then he basically tells you what he thinks is going to happen in a month. I mean, does that really happen? That's just, he's saying this is what's going to happen. So I don't know. I was like, man, I would have loved the battle. Would have been fun right here. Because in real life, like there was a battle. A lot of people died and it was pretty epic.
Either 10 to 40,000 casualties.
Yeah. Yeah. There was like, I just read a thing like in the morning that the fog was so dense, like they couldn't even see each other and they're fighting. And then when it lifted, it was just, and then Ishido gets captured. He has to surrender. And I'm like, this would have been great. This is the drama. But we learn a lot of things, right? We learn Toranaga also burned the boat.
Yeah.
This is when he's like,
he destroyed the boat. Yeah.
He literally says, I just keep him around.
I need to do it again.
Yeah. He's like, he'll build it. I'll probably destroy it again. He's like, he makes me laugh. That's why I keep him around. This is
entertainment.
Was Blackthorn even like, I know the book
he says they're friends. He says he's my friend.
Yeah, was he even? This was just like a little fun side project for Toranaga during this whole thing.
Well, and he also stated it kept his enemies,
their
focus on something else. Yeah, while he did what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
it's a good point. So he was bait. He was just bait, and he's funny. That's why I kept him around.
I should have killed him many a time, but he's like my jester.
Yeah, essentially he becomes the court jester.
Yeah, we dropped some good lines.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an excellent. This might be the best scene. Yeah, I think in the episode, because Toranaga and Yabushige, you can tell they're still kind of like friends.
Oh yeah,
like, Toranaga knows who and what Yabushige is and how he acts, and it's still like friends. And it's like the last contemplative, moment they're gonna have together. And before this, I want to mention this just because we go back and Yabushigi first wanted the Anjin as his second. And what's great about that is Toranaga was like, no, you're not going to get a messy death that you want.
Oh, that's
not going to happen.
Yeah.
So fast forward, and you know, they it's kind of like the old Bond villain trope of like, yeah, this is my plan. This is how I'm going to do it all and everything. And then Yabushigi at the end of that, it's just like, and then what's the end goal? What's the end goal? And Toranaga drops the mic with, why am I going to tell a dead man?
Great line. Why tell the dead man the future? I also love when Yabushigi is like, how does it feel to shape the wind to your will? And he's like, I didn't shape the wind. I only study the wind. But man, yeah. That last, because Yabushigi is like, wait, what about Crimson Sky? Can you still do that?
Don't forget, Toranaga unleashed his hawk earlier in the episode too.
Yeah, and I know more in the book. Like he talks about how everybody he uses are like different kinds of hawks. Like they're like short range falcons, long range. They all have different purposes. So there's more about that, but it's metaphor. But Yabushigi going Crimson Sky, and Tornaga's like, well, it already happened actually. So
yeah, Mariko was the Crimson Sky.
The whole Crimson Sky was Mariko. Yeah. What do you think, Andre, as a pop culture guy?
Well, first up, we need to talk about the other assistant, the idiot that was there. And he's like, oh, I forgot one thing. Here's my will.
My last will.
My last will. And he this is it. That was so funny. I was like, oh my God, this guy has more letters. I'm like, oh my God. He should have made one more stuff. Like he should give Toranaga, here's my I don't know, like here's my pension, here's my insurance, everything. Just give me a good death.
Deed to my car.
Here's my Medicare card.
Here's my Medicare.
Just keep going with the these envelopes he has under his shirt or whatnot. Oh my God, that cracked me up when he says his last will. I was like, what? Your last will? Oh my God, when he gets this scene was my favorite scene of the whole episode. I mean, first off, Yobo, my favorite character. I was like, oh my God, they're teasing us to his death. I was like, don't do this. But I was so curious, like, what was the plan for Toranaga? Like, I guess he was playing the long game. So this scene was so crucial to reveal everything. What was Toranaga was thinking, why he did it, you know, explaining why he didn't do this, and then. You know, we didn't bring this up, but like the Shogun, the title, this you know, the thing is a real mental. He asked him, was Shogun the thing you really wanted to chase? Because remember, he didn't want it during the beginning. So now,
in the book, this character becomes the Shogun.
So yeah, so I'm very curious that it maybe was true. He wanted it, but he just wanted to trick his enemies. So. Yeah, so like that scene was so great. Like I just love the actor that plays Toranaga. He really brought the depth and the intrigue for this.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yeah. If you haven't seen his films, you know, he's in Last Samurai, one of the movies. He's in there with Kennamo Watanabe. You know, he's an amazing actor. I was very happy how he's the lead here, and you see he
was in Sunrise, wherever it was with Cillian Murphy.
Sunshine, yeah.
Sunshine.
Yeah, he was in that. He played. He was like the leader for them, and he got killed in the beginning. Spoils if you haven't seen Danny Boyle's film Sunshine, a great sci-fi show. Anyway, so you know, like of course Yobashita is there. You know, I love how he just when he was going over Toranaga, I like how he just sits down casually, like he didn't like. It's like, oh, I'm gonna die, so casually, and. Oh my God, when he sees, you know, Toranaga getting up and then like putting his sword, you know, getting ready, and it's like, okay. And oh my God, the last line is like, why should I tell you you're gonna be a dead man? That like, oh, that killed me. And then he, of course, you know, was it you know, Yobo, my boy, had to like circle him like quickly, and then he gets his chopped head off, and his whole body falls down to the cliff. I was like, what?
Did you see that look also right
Yeah,
after
the
he-
smile, the kind
yeah,
of
he
smile like that. Yeah,
stabs
yeah,
himself
like-
and he looks at him smiling, and then I felt bad because I felt like his head and his body just went into the ocean. No one's ever
Yeah, especially after his poem where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, put my body in the field, and it's like, well, that's not.
It's not happening. It's already falling.
It's
All right.
floating that way.
For real, the guy that Torlaga said to go get the body light, it never came back with it.
Well, he
doesn't even get what he wants.
You know, I mean,
Doesn't even get to feed the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You can feed the whales. That's
Yeah.
that's good. It's better than that.
The catfish, maybe.
Yeah.
The imaginary catfish will feed on him.
So, we get the great seppuku scene, right? Where Yabu does like smile over his shoulder after he seppukos, right? And then we get, Yabu and Tornaga, and basically, as we, we've already gone over, Tornaga explains to him that he's the one that did torch the ship and all that and whatnot. We go over to Blackfoot trying to raise the ship on the beach, right? And everything and whatnot with all the people trying to raise the wreckage of the ship. And Bontero comes over, right? We finally get our Bontero, Blackfoot man hug, man crush moment, right? And where Bontero comes over to like grab a rope and help, and like they pull up
like that. That was great. I
boat,
love
and
You
like
both love the same one.
Blackfoot gives him a drink and shit, and whatnot, and everything, right? And Bontero drinks it and shit.
Yeah.
It was like really good. It was great, a great like finish off for Bontero and like Blackfoot's relationship. And then you see Tornaga to the side, and Blackfoot like recognizes them, and Tornaga they nod at each other and whatnot, and Blackfoot kind of goes,
What's up?
and they recognize each other and whatnot, and that's the end, right?
Tornaga just goes, "What's up?" And that's it.
Tornaga just over thinking like, I'm gonna have to burn this boat again.
He's like, "I'm gonna burn it. Whatever." Go ahead.
So, Andre's pop culture guy, go first. Your thoughts on that ending, that ending scene on the beach with Blackfoot.
Yeah. So Blackbeard / Blackfoot, Blackthorn himself. I was like, oh yeah,
Black
this is
Adam.
good. Black Adam. Black Adam was sending the ship out. It was doing so well, and then all of a sudden, that motherfucking guy, came back, and I was like, "What are you doing?" I mean, you were like a 10 out of 10 episode, and then you bring that down motherfucking guy again. I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Really?" And I agree with you guys. It was a good, conclusion to their, budding relationship, whatever. I was like, I didn't. He was useless. He should have died in episode 3, right? But just in a horror movie, if you don't see a victim body at all, then they were not gonna die. And of course, we knew he was not gonna die, so he didn't die. And we had this bizarre, love triangle. Like it was so sorry. Really.
No, we knew it was gonna be Godzilla -1 on that shit.
Oh yeah, it was. It really was. I was kind of sad he didn't turn into a kaiju, or like he had like a black whatever, just like the chick from towards the end of Godzilla -1. But anyway, spoilers for Godzilla -1. Great film. Anyway, it was cool to see Tornaga and Blackbeard acknowledge each other. But it's funny, they bring up the fact that he used him as a bait for Flex, Jester. It's kind of, I'm kind of wondering, like now it's like show is over, but like he's gonna be useful now, or he's just gonna keep him around to play around with him just for fun. I'm kind of curious, what's going on with this, but yeah. So, yeah, that was the end, and I was like, oh, okay, and it's like that. I was like, all right, that's fine. But yeah, that's what Shogun. That's all I had to say. I wasn't disappointed. I think this episode was really good. It would never gonna live up to episode 9, but I think this episode did have great moments, which is good because this show had really great moments. And
I skipped the Fuji boat scene.
I was just gonna say we missed
the Fuji boat scene too. So I'll talk about that.
Yeah, so let me wrap up for that. I love that scene. Actually, I wish we kind of end that for the episode because it was just so much more emotional. It was such a great payoff. As we were discussing, we missed the funeral, but Fuji and Blackthorn together, is the funeral for Miracle, because those two were close to her. So I really dug that, and I like how he, like it's good that he knows Japanese, so it's good that he knew how to talk to her, and like she understood certain things, and that was great. And doing the the ashes, if you guys know, we usually do that sometimes. That was really beautiful. And then the cross, I was expecting he was going to throw the cross. That was such a great emotional. That killed me, because that was the last thing that Miracle gave to him, and I thought he was going to keep it, and no, he just threw it, and I was kind of sad. So yeah, that moment, and it was sad that that's going to be the last time that he's going to be with Fuji, and I was like, oh no, See, that was a 10 out of 10 episode until I saw the whoever you were not gonna name,
Buntaro's dopey ass walks up.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the boat scene. It was very beautiful until we saw the other ugly husband's face again. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so overall, great episode.
All right, Brad.
I'll start with that Fuji and Blackthorn scene with the dumping of the ashes. I thought that was quite a beautiful scene. But it leads me back to the beginning of this episode with old man Blackthorn, and he's holding a cross.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then you get to the Fuji scene, they dumps the cross in the ocean. You're like, oh, not the same cross. Okay. Well, that's stupid.
I
So
guess
moving
that's
on.
how you know it's a dream. It confused me too. I was like, wait a minute. What's going on here?
So that was, other than that, that was a great pivotal scene. For the ending here, I actually quite liked the kind of the tie-up of Buntaro and Blackthorn. I like them burying the hatchet because both men loved this one woman who basically died for them all, and they got over themselves to, be like, yeah, we're still not buddies, but, we can exist here right now. And then Buntaro helping him pull out his ship, and then Blackthorn basically, I'm guessing that was either water or sake. I don't know.
That's all.
Overall, I thought it was a great kind of tie up to those two characters. And in the end, it's basically Mariko at the end of this episode. That's what it was about.
Yeah. Imran.
Yeah, the ashes scene was great. I love that line where she's like, "Let her be.
Let your hands be the last one to touch her.
Let your hands be the last one to touch her," which is what Mariko said to Fuji when she had to give up her baby to be sacrificed
in episode 1.
Yeah, Mariko was like, "Let your hands be the last to touch her." So yeah, just touching, and that shot from underneath. The whole show was just shot so beautifully, like the cinematography. Even this episode, and I love seeing him finally, like, the community come together. He's kind of part of them. He's one of them. He has a purpose. He can rebuild the ship, and yeah, just like you said, Brad, they had a shared trauma, Buntaro and Blackthorn, so they can bond. They can bond on the shared trauma. They lost the same girl. I thought that was great, and he's so happy that the boat comes out, and he's just gonna burn it down again. But
Tornaga's got to have his fun too.
Yeah, he's like, go on, build your boat. Just wait till you're asleep. That's fun. But
I need the Shogun spinoff series featuring Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes,
I feel like that's why old man Blackthorn looks the way he does. Is just he's had these hundreds of boats burned for no fucking reason.
Like every boat I built got burned. Don't tell him. Don't do it.
If he's smart, he's going to go to Tornaga and just be like, "Hey, can you give me a new consort?"
Yeah.
No, I Tornaga probably already got you can get Kiku. I don't care.
Kiku's not doing it.
Tornaga's probably going to make him Hanamoto again.
I think he's still going to learn. He has all the canon knowledge and the shipbuilding knowledge, and I believe you can build boats for them. I feel like they left it where you kind of feel like Blackthorn is just going to live there and have a family and just be fine.
Yeah.
Tornaga's going to be like, I just need a party barge.
Yeah. Put a bar on this one. Give me a pontoon.
And Tornaga has paid him well over the last, how many months,
He has money. Yeah, he's got money.
He gave him a fief, right? So he technically has land. He's got workers.
Oh yeah, that house is his.
Yeah, the house in the Jiro. Yeah, he's got servants.
Got everything.
He's got assets. He's not completely liquid.
If he went to Toranaga and said, I need a new consort, Toranaga would just give him a new consort.
Yeah. No problem.
I feel like Blackthorn's going to just be broken up over Mariko forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one can ever replace her.
No, not us either.
You're trying to move on, so you got to do something. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like living in the empty house. You know
Which,
what
I mean, he's got 2 grandkids, so apparently he did move on to something.
Oh, how about that moment earlier in the episode when the baby survives, right? And the wives, which is great from the explosion. He's holding the baby, and they're like, "Oh, we're still mourning Nagakado." And then he goes, "I got other kids. It's fine.
I got another son right there.
He's somewhere. I don't know what happened."
Yeah, you know.
But that's what Ishido said last time. He's like, he has other sons. So,
all right, let's do our episode ratings. All right, and you know, and go ahead and do our final thoughts on the episode and whatnot, and then we'll plug out of here and get out of here. So I'll start with you, Andres, the pop culture guy. Give me your rating and give me your final thoughts on chapter 10.
Okay. I'll give it a 8.5 out of 10. I don't think it's a very consistent episode for all this 9 chapters, but it's not my favorite. It did include a lot of the story points and storylines that we saw from the show, but I kind of wish we had something, I don't know, a bit more punchy, like episode 9. But we didn't get that. But at the same time, we got at least the payoffs that was important to the show. So we got to learn more about like the actual plan of Toranaga. Makes sense. He was playing the long game, so I was happy to acknowledge that. So I'm going to miss this show. And it was fun reviewing you guys, Brad and Emran. I want to get your name right before Rafu's going to bust my balls
Michael
here.
B. Jordan.
Yeah, well, there's
Jordan. It's fine.
Okay, Killmonger. Okay, Creed. I mean, I don't know which character you like.
Killmonger.
Yeah, Creed. Yeah, Killmonger. Yeah, Killmonger is great. I mean, Creed. Those 2 characters. Anyway, it was fun talking with you guys. Tonight was awesome, and yeah, I'm gonna miss the show.
Okay, Imran.
Yeah, look, like last episode, it was easily 10 out of 10. I got to give this one an 8 just because it was a little weird. It was, I felt a little bit cheated of a battle. But again, like I said, it's hard to end stuff. And I think with what they did, closing all the loopholes and the story points, it was actually pretty good. It's very poetic. It's an emotional kind of come down after a crazy episode 9. So I get it. You gotta end this somewhere. Would I like to see in a little more battle? Sure, but overall the show is still a solid 10 out of 10. It's been an amazing journey, and it's been really fun talking about it with you guys, breaking it apart. So did they stick the landing? I feel like they kind of did. It's just it's a weird. It's like the first time I had like mixed thoughts. It's a little weird, a little uneven for the end. But if you look at the whole thing, still the best thing on television, easily right now.
Okay, Brad?
So most of these episodes, other than I think 7 and 8, I gave 9.5, and then episode 9 was a 10, absolute 10. This to me is the epilogue episode. I think I'd give this a 9 out of 10 to match all the previous ones. One of the best television shows I think that's out there. I rank it kind of up there. The feeling I got with this was kind of like Andor, because it kind of has that slow
Me too.
burn.
I've said that several times, Brad. I have during the shows that this reminds me of when we reviewed Andor.
Yeah, you got that slow burn, and then you got that nice acceleration up to like the climax of this, and great acting, great cinematography, great story writing. And I think with this episode, you can only do so much, especially after the last one.
Yeah.
You're tying up loose ends, and also you have to stick to the book.
Yeah.
And so if there's no big battle scene,
there's
no big battle scene.
There's another thing that I don't know if they hinted at this. Another thing in the book they left out completely is that the heir, it was not actually the Tycho's kid. She just went and got knocked up and said it was the Tycho's, which is because he had a problem.
See, I wish they would have added that, because that would have made Ochiba look even like so much more deadly.
Right?
And she was already deadly.
Yeah, she's lying and trying to grab this power. But it's a big plot thing to have to deal with. I don't know where you would have put it in. Like, it could have used, if there was another episode.
Yeah.
And it was like the battle in a month. Oh my God. Just show me that.
But I give the episode, the whole series, a 9.25 out of 10.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is we're going to have our recap shows, so we'll have time to soak this in, and you know, hopefully, some of you guys will be able to make some of those recap shows, and we'll talk it more at length across the whole span of the series. I'll give the episode a 8.75. And all I really have to say about it is just that I liked seeing Fuji again. It didn't really suck not seeing her at all in episode 9. I was disappointed. So good to see Fuji back. That for me as a fan of Shogun, that really kind of wrapped it up for me. I needed to see Fuji's arc tied up, kind of like, you know, for my like fan, you know, like rewardship or whatever, whatnot for the series. So the fact that they tied that up the way they did was good for me. And I wanted to see Blackfoot's arc rounded out and whatnot and everything, right? Oh, and I liked how they bounced Yabu and Blackfoot off each other as characters throughout the series. They did. There's like a duality between the two characters where, you know, Blackfoot evolved, right, and grew over time. Or unfortunately, Yabu didn't. Not until the end did he really like get it, you know, and he fucked up, right? So like, you know, he was reckless. He's a heart on the sleeve type motherfucker,
yeah,
you know, for that time period, right? So that duality is interesting across the series. Those two characters kind of ripping off of each other, because you think about it, like, you know, we did have that opening in the first episode where they had the cliff with the ropes and all that shit and whatnot and everything, right? Yabu getting fucked up, like taking that drop. That shit was raw, baby.
And he was gonna kill himself right there.
Yeah.
I would love that should be the spinoff. Should be like Blackthorn and Yabushige, like a odd couple in a sitcom.
Can you imagine
like a buddy comedy?
Yeah, Yabu on Survivor. Yabu would kill it.
Great, yeah. Oh, Yabu would kill on Survivor. He would backstab everyone in a second. Like, you couldn't trust that.
Like real backstabbing.
Yeah.
Actual seppuku on Survivor. Like, I'll seppuku if you don't. If you won't be off.
Feel like I formed alliances with everybody on this show just to cover
and I
my
have
base.
all the immunity idols.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yes.
If you vote me off the show tonight, I'm gonna seppuku.
I will kill myself and all of you. Yeah.
Who's gonna section me, Jeff? Second me.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. Anyways, that was a good one. That's always nice when you can wrap up the show with a good joke. But let's do some plugs here, folks. We start off with Mr. Nordcorpse himself, and I pulled up both your website and your YouTube. Which one do you want to start with?
YouTube, please.
Okay, well, here you go. So the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to Jeff, and thank you to everyone on the show. Andres Imran, it was great, you know, chatting with you. We are the Nerd Core. We've been doing this for almost 8 years. We have a huge back catalog if you want to go listen to our reviews on movies, television. Shit, we do everything from Charlie Chaplin to Dune. Wow. So we got it. But yeah, we've got our Shogun episodes. I believe, Jeff, you were in episode 4 of Shogun.
I was. Yeah, I had a good time.
So, and before this, we actually have a whole back catalog of podcast episodes, because that's what we did before YouTube. So go check it out. Thank you guys for supporting us.
You got a nice website too.
Thank you. Yeah, thenerdcore.com, and then patreon.com/thenerdcore if you guys want to support us.
I like it's laid out pretty nice. I like it. You guys got a lot going on over there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, check out the website, guys. You guys have a lot going on over there. They have a lot of cool shows. Is the Nerd Corps basically almost like like your your network?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's what I figured. All right. I'm this pop culture guy, sir. I see you picked up a subscriber. Good for you, sir.
Yeah. Slowly.
Maybe it was Yabu's ghost.
Yabu.
Maybe Buntaro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no.
No, Yabu can subscribe twice now. Once with his body, once with his head. It counts as 2.
Oh, okay. I believe that.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Anyway, this is my channel. I'm Andreas Pogo, the guy. I'm up to 936 subscribers. Thank you, everyone. thank you guys for joining us for the Wednesday review for Shogun. It's been a blast for this last 10 weeks since February or March, whatever.
I know. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I know. Time flies. I just recently posted my top favorite Outlander episodes of the character Jamie Fraser. Because the actor's birthday was last April. I can't believe it. Today's May. Right now, I posted my Shadow review of the 30th anniversary for the classic Pulp Hero. Check that out. Me and Jeff are going to be back again to do another live stream review of Chucky Season 3, Part 2. The last 2 episodes, 7 and 8. Check that out on Sunday, 9:35 p.m. Eastern time, please, folks. And that's going to be a blast to wrap up that series. That series made me start doing my live stream, so it's going to be a very emotional time for me to close that season out. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. So thank you, everyone, for supporting me. Please help me hit that one.
There you go, folks. All right, Imran, where would you like me to start off with you, sir? YouTube channel or the podcast?
Wait, if you pull up the podcast, you have to take out the S and the HTTPS because my S version is all messed up.
I pulled up just your straight pod.
Oh, there you go. That's good. That works. First of all, thanks for giving me an opportunity to talk about the show because I have a podcast, primarily audio podcast, myself, the nerd, with my buddy Anthony, who's the jock, and there's a puppet named Rug Boy. We love comic book movies, superhero movies, genre stuff. But we were talking about Shogun over there just because there's so many things going on. And I was like, I really want to talk about this show. It's so good. So this was perfect.
Oh, you talked about the new Falcon suit, huh? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so the other thing we love is action movies. And there's been kind of a string of really decent action movies. You know, we're in this trend of like John Wick set off a trend of all these hyper violent action movies. So we reviewed Monkey Man. This week's show is about Boy Kills World, which had zero promotion. Nobody saw. It only made $1 million opening weekend because they just didn't promote it well. But it's a really fun, over-the-top, wacky action, bloody, violent action film with some great comedy. Bill Skarsgård really does kill it. He's got the physicality. So we review that. And and we'll be talking about Fall Guy on the next episode because there's another kind of action, more of a big budget action movie. Rebel Moon Part 2 is terrible. Don't even bother. But if you want to hear fun time tearing a movie apart, that's the episode to listen to. But just search Jock and Nerd Podcast wherever you find audio podcasts. We are in all the places. And thanks again for inviting me onto this. This has been so much fun.
No problem, sir. All right, folks. Well, you know what? That is it. We're going to kill this one at an hour and a half mark. We appreciate everybody in the audience. It was a great review. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Rod. Thank you, Andre, the pop culture guy. Folks, we appreciate all of you. On Friday this week, 9:35 p.m. Eastern, 6:35 p.m. Pacific, we are doing Fallout Episode 4. Iran will be back. Andres will be back. I'll be moderating. Cyber will be on the panel. We'll be playing drinking games. Shit will be out. Shit will be dope as hell. Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Andres and Pop Culture and I will be doing the MCU'S Bleeding Edge Report. X-Men Episode 97. Recap. And along with fandom, pop culture news, and all that and whatnot. And then next Wednesday, we'll be back to do movie reviews on Wednesdays with 48 Hours. 1982. Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy.
Good stuff.
Yep, that'll be our movie review for next week, for next Wednesday. So, you got The Acolyte starting in June. Doing Star Wars again, Andres. Woohoo! The Acolyte, baby.
House of the Dragon.
That's coming back too.
We're doing House of the Dragon in June. Yeah. Our first episode review is June 17th. That's our first episode review of House of the Dragon on Mondays. Yeah. So we got that coming up. And, anyways, folks, listen, have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Come see us on Friday. And peace out. We'll see you next time.
Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Soon as we step out the cage, we raising